One night I was at my desk. It was 8 p.m. I watched the number go from 0 to 1000 views per minute to 2000 views to 3000 views in real time on a video I had uploaded the day before. Within 3 weeks, I was generating 1 to 2 million views every 24 hours. I was making $35 a day, then $65 a day, then $110 in a single day. I had quit my job and I thought I had figured it out. 2 months later, I woke up, went to the gym, came back and found an email. I was no longer part of the YouTube Partner Program. Just like that, an email, and it was gone. Over 800 videos found, edited, and uploaded by me. Gone. This is the story of what actually happened, why I knew deep down it was coming, and the one thing I learned that I could not have learned any other way. Let's get into it. Maybe you have been there. Not exactly there, but somewhere like it. You found something that felt like it was working. You put in the real hours, the kind where you look up and it's suddenly midnight. And you do not care because you're building something. You started seeing results, small at first, then bigger, and for the first time in a long time you thought, maybe this is it, and then it collapsed. The worst part was not the loss itself. It was the quiet voice underneath it. The voice that said, you knew. You knew this was not built right. You knew it was not going to hold. But you kept going anyway. Because the results were real. The momentum was real. And you told yourself you would fix the foundation later. And later never came. Maybe your version of this is not a YouTube channel. Maybe it's a business you have committed to. A habit built upon willpower instead of systems. A plan that worked for 3 weeks, then fell apart the moment life pushed back. The details are different, but the feeling is the same. You're not stupid for trying. You're not weak for failing. But there is something worth looking at honestly here. Something most people skip because it is uncomfortable. And that is what this video is about. There is a concept in behavioral psychology called temporal discounting. And it describes something the human brain does automatically, consistently, without asking your permission. Your brain values immediate rewards far more than future ones, even when the future reward is objectively larger. In simple terms, your brain is wired to take the short-term win every single time, unless you consciously fight it. Psychologist Walter Mischel spent decades studying this. His research showed something important. The ability to delay gratification is one of the strongest predictors of a long-term success across almost every area of life. Not intelligence, not talent, just the ability to choose the harder, longer path when the easier, shorter one is right in front of you. But here is what nobody tells you about that research. The people who failed the test were not weak-willed. They were not stupid. Most of them knew waiting was the better choice. They just could not hold that knowledge. Not in the face of the immediate reward that felt real and available right now. This is the mechanism, and I lived it exactly. I knew my channel was built on other people's content. I knew YouTube's policies. I knew the content was not original. I saw the warning signs. The analytics were showing my channel was growing at 15,000% above normal. Something in me registered it as a red flag, and I kept uploading anyway. Not because I was ignorant, because the money was real, the momentum was real, and I told myself the foundation problem was a future problem, and I would fix it later, after I got the bag. Knowing about temporal discounting does not stop you from doing it though. I needed to go one level deeper to understand what actually happened and what it means for what I'm building now. Here's the story most people tell about what happened to me. The algorithm change, YouTube crackdown, bad timing, bad luck. That story is comfortable, and it is wrong. Here's the real story. I made a long-term decision, quit my job, built a YouTube channel to create financial independence using a short-term strategy. I treated the marathon like a sprint, and when you sprint a marathon, you do not just slow down, you collapse. The failure was not the demonetization email. The failure was the decision I made weeks earlier to build on a foundation I knew was wrong and to tell myself I would fix it later. The email was just reality catching up. And here is what I now call the foundation problem. Most people who try to build something and fail are not failing because they lack effort. They are failing because they're working hard on the wrong thing. And working hard on the wrong thing does not produce zero results. It produces the illusion of results. Just long enough to feel like it is working before it collapses completely. The foundation problem is simple. You cannot build something real on top of something fake. Not for long. The hard work was real, the hours were real, the 800 videos were real, but the foundation was not mine. The strategy was not sustainable. And eventually, real results require a real foundation. Most people will tell you to work harder, be more consistent, have more discipline. And that is layer 1. It is real and it is necessary. But there is a layer underneath that nobody talks about, and that's layer 2. Are you building on the right foundation? Are you making a long-term decision with a short-term strategy? Are you telling yourself you will fix the foundation later while the results feel good? Because later always comes, and when it does not send an email. And when it does not send a warning. It sends an email. So, what do you actually do with this? Here are 3 questions I now ask before I build anything. Not after, before. And question number 1 is this a sprint or a marathon decision? Before you start anything, ask yourself honestly, what kind of commitment does this actually require? Not what you want it to require, what it actually requires. Building a YouTube channel that lasts is a marathon, 2 to 3 years minimum before the machine starts working for you. If you're not willing to commit to that timeline, do not start. Or start knowing you are sprinting and accept. If you're not willing to commit to that timeline, do not start. Or start knowing you are sprinting and accept what comes with that. I wanted the long-term result, but I chose the short-term strategy. Those 2 things cannot coexist. Pick one and be honest about it. Question number 2. What do I already know that I'm ignoring? This is the question that hurts, because almost every time something fails, there was a moment early on where you knew. Not suspected, knew. I knew the content was not original. I saw the red flag in the analytics. I knew what YouTube's policy said, and I ignored all of it because the immediate reward was too loud. So, before you build, ask yourself, what do I already know about this that I'm choosing not to look at? What is the thing I am planning to fix later? Because later is not a plan. Later is a wish. And question number 3 is, would I be comfortable if this was the only thing I ever built? Not the only successful thing, the only thing. If this channel never makes serious money, would I still be glad I built it this way? For my first channel, the answer was no. I was embarrassed by what I was building even while I was building it. I would not have been proud to tell someone that is what I do. The embarrassment was information. I ignored it. This channel, what I'm building now, the answer is yes. I'm documenting something real, building skills that are mine, creating content from my actual life, my actual failures, my actual journey. And if it never makes a single dollar, I will still have become someone different. someone who can speak in front of a camera, someone who can structure ideas, who can build the discipline to show up and do the work anyway. That is a foundation. That is something no email can take away. One more thing on this. Knowing these questions is not enough. You have to build the habit of asking them before the momentum starts. Because once the results are coming in, once the excitement is real and the money is showing up, these questions become very easy to skip. Write them down. Put them somewhere visible before you start any new project. Make the asking automatic. And make the asking automatic before the excitement makes it inconvenient. I want to be straight with you. What I'm building now is harder than what I was building before, significantly harder. Before, I was clipping other people's content, and anyone can do that. Now I'm creating original content in my second language, on camera, about my actual life, with my actual failures included. This is uncomfortable in ways I did not expect, and it is slower. The results will come slower. There will be weeks where I upload and nothing happens, and I will have to keep going anyway. I also want to be honest, I do not have this figured out. I'm 33 years old, working a 9 to 5, trying to build something real in the hours between 5 and 9 p.m. every evening. And I'm not telling you this from the other side. I'm telling you this from inside it. Some days I will do everything right and still feel like I'm going nowhere. That is not a sign something is wrong. That is just what the middle of the marathon looks like. Here is what becomes possible on the other side of the foundation problem. Not just success, but trust. When you build upon a foundation you actually believe in, when the content is yours, the skills are yours, the story is yours, something changes. You stop waiting for it to be taken away. You stop checking your email with that quiet fear underneath. You stop knowing in the back of your mind that this is not built right. You become someone who does the hard work because the work is real. Not because the results are coming fast enough. Not because the algorithm is cooperating. Because you are building something that belongs to you, in a way that no email can delete. That is what I'm building right now. Not a channel, a foundation. The difference between who I was 2 years ago and who I'm becoming is not a talent. It is not luck. It is the decision to stop sprinting a marathon and start running it properly. Even when properly is slower, harder, and less immediately rewarding. That decision is available to you right now, with whatever you are building, with whatever foundation you have been meaning to fix later. Later is today. Here is one thing I want you to do after this video. Ask yourself question number 2, right now. What do I already know that I'm ignoring? Write it down. Not in your head, on paper, or on your phone. One sentence. The thing you already know about your current plan that you are choosing not to look at. That is the starting point. Not a new strategy, not a new system, just the first honest look at the foundation. If this resonated with you, you can subscribe. This channel is about exactly this. Building something real. Documenting it honestly. Figuring out together what it actually takes. I'm building this alongside with you. From inside to the same work, not from the mountaintop. See you in the next one.